Hello there. I actually did a whole video yesterday on what I thought was the sting in the tail of this year's election, because there's always something that seems to pop up at the last minute. And I thought it was the passing of Neil Christensen, the ACT Party candidate for the Port Waikato electorate. In fact, I was so through the process we even had artwork done up. By the way, do you like the new look artwork for the YouTube and Instagram channels? This is done by Bailey Rose Creative, and she is amazing, and I am blown away by the creativity on display here, because I could not do anything like that if I tried. So impressive. Anyway, I thought the sting in the tail was going to be his passing away, because that changes a few things. Like, now there has to be another by-election, which was announced with hugely bombastic and full of journalistic integrity style from News Hub here as a bombshell, which is literally written down in law for the process to be followed. And the fact that this changes how Parliament will be made up, because that election happens after our general election, it means that there will be a one-seat hangover in Parliament this year, so you need at least 62 MPs to get an outright majority now instead of 61. Little things like that. Did a whole video on it. But it turns out that the sting in the tail of this year's general election is actually called a Thagomiser, which are these spikes here on the tail end of a Stegosaurus. They're actually named after this cartoon from Gary Larson, because paleontologists looked at it and went, we don't actually have a name for those little spikes on the end of a Stegosaurus's tail. Let's call them the Thagomiser. That's how the name came about. And the reason that this is the sting in the tail is because, well, in an election full of weird absurdities, it turns out that the leader of the opposition, who may be our next Prime Minister, might not believe that dinosaurs ever existed. I mean, he is an evangelical Christian. It's kind of understandable that might be his stance, and Guy Williams has done some investigating into this and not got an answer from Christopher Luxon. He avoided the question, but he did say T-Rexes were his favourite. And I get that, because, you know, T-Rexes are awesome, unless you're this guy, but it doesn't say whether or not he believes they actually existed. And because we are exhausted and it's been a really long election period and this is strange and different, it's gone a little bit crazy on social media. Whether or not the existence of dinosaurs is going to be the event that decides how people are going to vote is impossible to know, but it's there now, it's out there, it's part of the public discourse around the election, just making it even weirder. But we will find out on Saturday whether or not it has actually had an impact. Election results are going to come in from about 7 o'clock, and if you want to see the election results come in live, feel free to tune in to my YouTube or Facebook accounts or listen to freefm.org.nz. I will be leading the broadcast and streaming live at the same time. All of the results as they come in, we'll have guests coming in to do interviews. It'll be a whole thing. Feel free to come and join me for that. But in the meantime, if you haven't done so, please go out and vote. Until 7 o'clock Saturday night is when polling is open. If you're in the line at 7 o'clock, you can still cast your vote. Go out, have your say. Let's make whatever the next parliament is made up of the most representative possible parliament out there by getting as many people out there to have their say.